What is going down, everyone? It's time for another episode of The Breakdown. This is our football episode because, 2025 is right around the corner. We're like one more week into preseason, and then we've got regular season. So we're going to discuss the brand new Immaculate Football that's coming out this Friday, as well as, buy, sell, or hold. Who do we think is going to be like some sleepers, some rookies that didn't quite perform, maybe some Daniel Jones talk. We're going to be joined by Casual Troy from DA Card World. You see him on the breaks all the time on Fanatics Live. Huge Bills fan, so I'm sure we're going to be talking about some Hard Knocks and the Bills as well, because I've been watching. I missed this week. But, Cody, have you been tuning into some Hard Knocks?
No, I can't say I have been. I've been. Look, it's still baseball season for me. As you can see, you got the memo that it's an all-football episode. I'm decked out in still baseball stuff. I'm still holding on hope for some godforsaken reason, but I am ready, man. You know what actually got me ready for football was seeing Rich Eisen on SportsCenter last night. He was his very first SportsCenter in like 22 years. They did the old school intro. I'm like, oh, I am ready. This is awesome. I'm ready for a little throwback. I'm ready for some football. That got me back in the mood.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, I was watching I think it's brand new on Netflix. It's America's Team. It's the Jerry Jones story.
Oh, yeah.
And, as much as I hate the Cowboys, I popped it in. I watched about 30 minutes and hearing that Jerry Jones, like he had, I think $800,000 left, bought an oil well or something like that. And he wound up making $100 million on this gamble of buying this oil well. And then he wound up buying the Cowboys for like $150 million or something like that. Did a coin flip on the extra $300,000. I'm totally spoiling the show for you guys. I haven't watched it yet, but it was fantastic. As much as I hate the Cowboys, it was a well done Netflix. They've got Irvin, Smith, Aikman, all the guys on there, Jimmy Johnson. So, but we got to bring in the Cal Raleigh of the hobby, Mr. Troy from DA Card World. What's going on, Troy?
I'm kind of blushing. I didn't realize you felt that way about my figure. Off to a hot start here, I guess. But you know how to leave me speechless and not know what to say. But as always, I appreciate you, Doug and Cody, obviously, for having me on. Two former Chase guests in their own right. It's always good to be with you guys virtually or in the same room and just chat it up. So happy to be here. Thanks for having me on. First time caller, long time listener, though. You know that.
Absolutely. We're honored to have you, Troy. And I know you're a big Bills fan. How exciting is it to look forward to this season? And have you been watching Hard Knocks?
So I'm poor and I don't have cable and I haven't been able to steal anybody's HBO Go. So any of you listeners out there on the breakdown, if you have an HBO Go login that you want to send my way, wouldn't be mad about it.
Well, let me call Adam right now and say, let's get this boy HBO. Come on.
At least some free HBO in the contract. Yeah, we need to write that up.
Yeah, that's fine. Just, out of the weekly paycheck, just take out the subscription monthly. That's fine with me. Pretty cool, though, because obviously the Bills have one of the big stories is a local kid, Joe Andreessen, Buffalo Joe, as he's been coined. And I know that, he got a chance to actually be featured on the show. And what's funny thing about him, you probably won't learn this from Hard Knocks, but you can learn this from me, is massive collector. Kid's a massive collector. He's at all the local card shows around here. He's got his Zion case or his form of a Zion case, and he's walking around making deals. But we've had him at store events, and great kid, interacts with everybody, and like a legit collector. Like he's like, oh, I collect Manny Ramirez stuff. Did I expect to hear that from a kid younger than me who plays football? No, but really cool to see. So a little tidbit there about Buffalo Joe.
Now, does he have any cards? Does he have any rookie cards? I'm not aware of, or
yeah. So if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if it's in any like actual sealed product, but you can look it up on Twitter, X, whatever you call it. I guess I'm a boomer. Yeah. Last season, it was like he tweeted at Panini. He's like, "Hey, listen, guys." He's like, where's my card? And if I'm not mistaken, they ended up making him a Panini Instant card. So he's got that at the very least. I don't know what the print run was on it, but at the very least, I think he's got one of those. So if anybody's interested, I'm sure you can find that on eBay, no problem.
That's awesome. And I have a league that I'm in. It's 8 people, and we all pick just a winner of the Super Bowl. And each of us get 4 picks, and it's a snake draft. And guess who I picked? I had the first pick. I drew the first pick. Who do you think I picked?
Oh, you had to go Josh Allen.
I did. I went with
You had to go
I went with the
Josh
Buffalo Bills because I am a Niner fan, and I didn't want to think with my heart with the first pick. So I went with Josh Allen. I think it's his time. I'm going to be going to the Super Bowl. It's right in our backyard here. So if I can't see the Niners, I want to see some Josh Allen, and I think I'll win like $200 or something like that for that. So that'd be great.
Well, I'll tell you what, I appreciate that. So you know what? I'll return the favor and just big C-Mac guy. Think with my heart. Listen, Buffalo, it's dangerous if Bills fans start thinking with their heart. It's not a good idea. Trust me. It'll take months off your life. So, you know, I hope to see C-Mac and company in the bowl. You know, I think that would be a great friendly wager we could make up if we could see them both in there.
There you go.
Bills Niners Super Bowl.
That's the Chris Berman Bowl right there. That's Berman every year predicted Bills Niners every single year. So it's got to come to fruition at some point, right?
It's got to.
He's got to be right at some point.
Exactly. I still can't take a QB number 1 in fantasy. I'm still old school.
No, I'm sorry. I should have refrained that.
Oh, yeah.
I had the first pick to pick a team.
Oh, gotcha.
So and that team has to win the Super Bowl.
Oh, gotcha.
So
gotcha.
It's a Super Bowl pool.
Hey,
I know
look,
we're all involved in fantasy.
I was going to say I'm not mad at the Josh Allen pick, but I'm like I just go with that 2 running backs and then I'll take care of the rest after that.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah.
In terms of fantasy, but this is to whoever wins the Super Bowl. I had the first pick out of 8.
Well, that's a solid pick.
And I was thinking, you know, maybe Eagles, but you know, Saquon's on the Madden cover. I don't know about the curse, you know. So, and I don't want to pick Chiefs, so I picked the Bills.
And we certainly don't want to pick the Chiefs. Yeah, Cody still does his drafts by pencil and paper.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly it. I still call it I'm still on like I'm trying to think like is anyone using? I used to use like CBS Sports years ago. I don't know if anyone's still using that one. Now it's like NFL and ESPN are going to be all part of one fantasy league. So, but yeah, I'm old school. with it.
Cody, I hate to be. I was going to say, Cody, I hate to be the one to tell you that AOL just discontinued dial-up, so please don't be too upset.
Dude, I still have at least 50 free trial discs. And what am I going to do with these?
I think you still have Netscape, though. They're still around, right?
Okay, yeah. Well, thank God.
Perfect.
Cool. Yeah. Just don't tell me about Ask Jeeves.
Yeah, that was a good site, man. I asked Jeeves a lot of questions.
I loved asking Jeeves.
But let's talk some football. We got 2024 Immaculate dropping Friday. I'm sure, Troy, you're going to be breaking it. What are you looking forward to most while breaking 2024 Immaculate Football?
Oh, you know, I think it's the foil, right? You're always looking for that 101, you know, that foil. So I think I'd be remiss if I didn't say that as a breaker. But obviously, Immaculate's another one. I like the design. You know, not that NT isn't great, and obviously not that Flawless isn't great, but it's almost got a little more class to it. It looks a little more upscale, you know. Flawless a little more toned down, and NT not as busy, right? Not as less is more type situation. But just another great product that you can chase shields in, laundry tags, the hat patches, Nike stuff, whether it's a glove. I know one of the cards that they're using as an example in their carousel here, Panini, is actually a Keon Coleman glove. So, I mean, I think, right, it's shield.
I mean, we have some images from the first off the line. I was looking for a checklist. Unfortunately, it's not out yet, but I think we're all used to that in this hobby. So not quite a checklist out yet, but they do have socks, Cody. And I got an image here, a Joe Milton sock. And now I'm hoping that was, washed. I don't know how much he sweat during that game, but I mean, it's a cool looking patch. What do you think about memorabilia like this, Troy?
I think it has its place. It's interesting because this is just me. I'm not much of a patch guy myself, PC wise. Obviously, I think there very much is still a place for it when it comes to other collectors or when it comes to breaking. Yeah, does it have the resale value of one with an autograph on it? No, I think that's just built in. It's bound to happen. But I like when, Panini or Topps will push the limits of what they can put in a card. Obviously we've seen cleats in cards. We've seen all kinds of stuff. I even, what I like too is getting ahead of myself here, but if I'm not mistaken, Immaculate is usually when we see the eye black auto. I think that's another great piece that's unique to Immaculate itself.
Yeah, it definitely seems like Immaculate's a place where they have just, they let the designers go wild and just grab any kind of memorabilia that you want. I don't know, a game used gum, shoes, cleats, pads. It's nothing's off limits when it comes to Immaculate. And we're looking at 6 cards per box, and we're looking at 6 boxes per case for Immaculate. More on the high end side. I think it's trending around 10K a case. So breaks are definitely the way to digest Immaculate. I know we don't have a checklist, but if you were to pick a team, Troy, and you probably won't keep your heart in this because we already mentioned that, you don't think with your heart, but what team would you pick for Immaculate right now?
This may sound obvious, cliche. I don't know. Maybe I'm not doing too much digging, but right at the surface level, when you ask me that question, I'd say the Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
I think for obvious reasons, because obviously the 2024 product is JJ McCarthy's rookie year, but we all know what happened with his injury. And this upcoming season is going to be his legit test, his legit rookie season, obviously vying for the starting job here. So I think that's probably the play, because this is a really good time for this product to come out.
Mm-hmm.
Literally right before the season begins. You got a couple more weeks of preseason. But I think all eyes are on JJ McCarthy, especially after what happened last year. So we know his market is pretty good already, even with all just the hype and no actual tangibles that we were able to see of him. So I think you got to give Minnesota a run. Not going to necessarily be your cheapest team, but in terms of if he lives up to what he's supposed to be, some of these Immaculate cards can probably see some really good money.
Yeah, I mean, they said Sam Darnold get out of town. They've got JJ, he's locked in. And I don't know, one of us 3 could probably still throw touchdowns to Justin Jefferson too. So that helps.
True.
Justin Jefferson on the squad. And, what's great about this hobby too, and you see it, is it's like the unknown sometimes is better. So we don't know what JJ can do. So people are paying for what the possibility is. And his cards are skyrocketing. I think we have a picture of one of the RPAs out of the sets that was in one of the first off the line right there. You can see the breaker's hands there.
Yeah.
You love people when they just they take pictures of your hands, they throw it up on eBay. But it's a great time to capitalize on JJ McCarthy into the season, into the hype. So, I can't dispute that pick. I think on the bargain side, I know in our 3-box breaks, we've got the Cardinals at $99. I still am a big believer in Marvin Harrison. So if you're looking at the opposite side of the spectrum, I think Cardinals might be a good pick to chase some Marvin Harrison.
Cardinals low key. I mean, I know the NFC West is kind of like, I feel like it's very up in the air, but there's so many talented pieces on the offensive side that you think something's got to give at some point with that team. Kyler does have like 2 or 3 games a year where you go, oh, that's right. That's
before,
why you were the
before the new game comes out, right?
Right,
Usually,
exactly. As long as it's not a new Call of Duty, we're in the clear. But there he has those flashes where you go, that's right. You're the number 1 pick for a reason, and he still can do it. So, I kind of like that too. The other team I was gonna say is teams that are, we kind of bring it up. I think we brought it up a couple weeks ago too. Just especially in a product like this, where there's tons of chases for shields and there's tons of chases for swooshes and really cool game worn or just really cool patches. Just legacy teams are a good call, where it's like if you're looking for teams that are a little bit cheaper, obviously the Niners, the Cowboys, the Steelers, those teams are going to always be baked in a little higher than your average team. But if they don't have a big rookie chase, they might be a little bit lower than what you're expecting usually in breaks. Those are just, to me, the safest bets of like, get the Niners, because the Niners don't have a ton of huge rookies. I know they have Pearsall. Pearsall's the biggest chase, but yeah, like a team like that. I mean, the Cowboys obviously too. So that to me is always like, if you're just looking for a safe bet, that to me is always good. Yeah, because I'm noticing Commanders are going for like 1,200 in case breaks, maybe 1,500. So, and without ink, it is a little bit of a risky bet to chase patches of Jaden Daniels. But I know they will go for a lot, and the Shields will go for a lot. But you may find yourself not getting anything more often than not than sticking with some of those legend teams.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of brings back your point about how we feel about memorabilia and the Cardinals. Not bad there. First overall pick. he's a Fanatics exclusive athlete as well. I'm referencing Marvin Harrison Jr. So you're really chasing his shields and his swooshes there, and it could be a safe bet on that side of things.
Yeah, and I mean, also, I think he has very few autos and tops too. So it's his base cards in Immaculate might do well, especially if he performs. Moving on to some more news, I guess the Colts named Daniel Jones the starter for the season, or at least to start week 1. Is the book been written on Anthony Richardson now, or do we have any hope?
The book was written on Daniel Jones. What the hell's going on?
Daniel Jones is a real just, rags to riches to rags to riches to rag. I don't know. It keeps going back and forth with him. Yeah, this kid won't die. I think that's it. It's just a never say die attitude. He just, he sticks around, and I don't think it's necessarily, are we writing the book on Anthony Richardson yet? I'm sure Colts fans are probably in an absolute tizzy. I haven't checked Colts Twitter, but one guy that also breaks with us, his name is Tank. He's a big Colts guy. So I got to check in with him and get the real lowdown on.
He might just be a big guy in general with that name, no?
Yeah. Oh, he is. He's built. Brother's built. He could probably run through this wall like the Kool-Aid man if he heard me talk about him loud enough, if I'm being honest with you. But yeah, I don't think, now might be the time to just buy Anthony Richardson. It's one of those things where I guess, I don't know if they're trying to teach him a lesson or what it is, or like, hey, take a step back, watch him, or let Danny Jones make the mistakes. Let Danny Dimes, work himself out of the job. And then AR comes in and looks like the hero by week whatever.
Yeah, I mean, AR has shown flashes of greatness, but I think we had another injury this year, too, in the first preseason game. So now I think we're on, 3 years of some sort of injury. So that seems
there was the taking himself out of the games and stuff where, I mean, there's a lot riding against him even before they threw out like, hey, we got Daniel Jones here to kind of light a fire. And I'm sure that's what it was. They brought him in to light a fire under him. Say, hey, look, we got a guy who started games as much guff as I probably will give Danny Jones as we've done on all of our podcasts. That's a guy who started a playoff game. It's a guy who has had some success in the NFL. And I don't think this was the plan for him to start. I think the plan was maybe this will get Anthony Richardson to really take a step up, and clearly that's not happening.
Now, I had some recent sales of some silver PSA 10s. I mean, are we touching any of these cards? Is there any upside? I know, Troy, you mentioned Anthony Richardson. It looks like his silver PSA 10 recently sold at like 110. Danny Jones, Daniel Dimes, Danny Nichols, whatever you call him, sold for $85 back in 2019 rookie, recent sale. But are we touching any of these guys, or is there some better options on the pass through there?
I mean, I'm certainly not touching Danny Dimes. I'm good. I'm all set on that. I just don't. Even if he does lead the Colts to a winning record and maybe a playoff berth, which I can't believe that's even leaving my mouth. I don't think his ceiling. There's not much there. I think AR has more of a ceiling than Daniel Jones. So 110 still seems a little higher than I guess I would have thought. I would have thought maybe he would have dipped down at least for the silver into, like the higher, like, 75, 80, maybe even 90 range. But if I'm going to pick between the two, I'm going to scoop up some Anthony Richardsons. Maybe I'll catch an eBay listing that has, I don't know, Anthony Richardson or something, and try to catch a late night or a wrong spelling and maybe try to get one for cheap and hang on to it. But I don't know. I'm a little cold on both of them, I guess.
Yeah, I think, if it dips to like 50, maybe $60, it might be worthy of a shot just because the guy is an athletic beast. I know you love karaoke. I love karaoke. I saw you over at the Dueling Piano Bar over in Chicago, and we all were enjoying music. If you could give a song title that's current to Daniel Jones, what would that be?
A current song title,
or any karaoke song.
Yeah, just any karaoke song.
And it would be like his theme song. And Cody,
that's a great question. Put me on the spot like that. Maybe Gangstar, my ex to the next.
Okay,
There you go.
I like it.
I don't know. He moved on from the Giants. He's on to the Colts, but we'll see how things go in Indianapolis. But that's the short answer. Maybe
He's definitely not poison. Nothing but a good time. That's not.
No.
That's
no.
not.
He is nothing but a good time. No, he's.
Yeah.
Well, he might be the Alice Cooper song "Poison." Then maybe that's it. Maybe he's just poison.
Yeah, I was gonna, that's a much more positive spin than me. Just the Colts QB situation in general is just REM's. It's the end of the world as we know it. That's really what it is, and I feel fine, I guess. So, yeah.
That's, you know what? We didn't start the fire. You know what I mean?
Yes.
We didn't do it.
Bringing in the piano, man. Absolutely.
That's good. We gotta do more of that and to have theme songs for some of these
That's
guys.
A good call.
That's a good segment.
Before we go further, I got to bring it up because we showed the Joe Milton card earlier.
Mm-hmm.
What am I missing with Joe Milton? Like his markets, it went up all offseason. It seems like he's still selling, like for a guy in his position, still sells relatively well. I know he went to the Cowboys. Is that really what it is? Is just, well, now he's in Dallas and maybe he could be the next guy for Prescott. The only other thing I can figure out is that you have him and Drake May. And so it's like, well, one of these has autos and it's like, we're trying to counterbalance here and like trying to recoup some of that. Like, well, I was in a break for the Patriots and I got Joe Milton. So maybe I don't know. Can you guys explain to me, what am I missing?
I think the guy threw like 75 yards in a game or something like that. I think last year, if I remember correctly, it was like an insane throw. And then I think he came in late in the season and played really well. So I think that's the hype. Right. And is that what you're kind of thinking too, Troy?
Yeah, I feel like Joe Milton last year in breaks, you could have sent along a T-shirt, if you will, that was just, hey, I got the Patriots in a break, and all I left with was this Joe Milton card. I don't know. That's kind of how it felt sometimes. But, I don't know how it is in football sometimes as it is with other sports. Also a big hockey guy, being up here in Buffalo, closer to Canada. And I know sometimes, players' values are very much based on the market they're in, too. So, obviously New England, huge football city. Yes, the Drake May. And so I don't know if maybe it's holding too, because, people in Dallas, I got to assume at this point that their faith in Dak is starting to wane. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if they're like, all right, well, we got Milton now, so I guess let's kind of get behind him and see what we can do. So I don't know if it's because Dallas is ready for someone new under center type of situation. So that could be it as well.
Could be, yeah. And I think you've seen a little bit of a bump in Trey Lance when he went over there too. So I think it's almost like the Cowboys. This is a fair assessment. The Cowboys are kind of the Yankees of football. True. So you've got a big fan base. You also have prospectors and speculators that are like just waiting for that next big name to pop over in Dallas, just like they do with the Yankees. So I think that's probably Joe Milton's market. But I like what Troy said too. Is like, a lot of people wound up getting him instead of May, so they're propping it up as well.
Yeah, that's got to be it. That's the only thing I could think, because I just it just screams like the guy who comes in at the end of a season, and then this is the hobbies version of guy comes in, has one good game or one good half, and it's like, here you go, here's your lifetime contract. Who was it years ago? Packers went to the Seahawks. And then lost the job to Russell Wilson. His name's escaping.
Oh, and then he went to the Raiders too. Matt Flynn.
Yes, to me, it is like this is the hobbies version of a Matt Flynn situation of just like, great, that's enough. I've seen enough. Time to boost the value of all his RPA. He's like, all right.
Or going back a little farther, Matt Castle got the start. Brady got hurt. Went to the Chiefs.
Castle has a full season of success though. There, true. They won 11 games with him under center. So
true.
I'll give him that.
That's true. And then Troy, tell people where they can find you. Are you breaking on Fanatics Live now? Are you all over the place? Where can they join your Immaculate Breaks?
Yeah, Fanatics Live. So typically what I do on our Fanatics Live, if you guys don't mind me touting it here, but
no worries.
Typically when I'm on, I do a ton of hockey. And also I'm getting really excited about next week is the drop of Cactus Jack, WWE Chrome, the full hobby release, not just the WrestleMania exclusive. So like SP Authentic, when that came out last Wednesday, we're still tearing into that. So you can find me weekdays. I'm on Fanatics Live. It's just the David Adams channel. Obviously, we have New York City, we have Cooperstown, so you might have to sift through a little bit, but typically some hockey, typically some wrestling you'll find on the channel that I'm breaking on. But 11 a.m. Eastern to about 5 p.m. Eastern daily. I'm on there in and out if I'm making breaks or sitting in the chair and getting a rip. But
or jumping on a podcast, right? So
or hopping on a podcast, of course.
Actually, Dan, as SP Authentic, I've been chasing some Macklin, obviously being from around here.
Great cover for this year's release. Gotta say, we're a little biased.
Absolutely, Dan was telling me he casually ripped the box and got an Ovechkin nickname to 10 or something like that.
Oh yeah.
I was like,
that's the one where it has like his handle, right? Is it the one that has his handle?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hard to get. That's nice.
He hasn't shown me yet, but he told me about it yesterday. I was like, well, why didn't you share the picture with me? Come on now.
Sometimes, if it's too hot to handle,
it must be.
You got to see it in person.
Maybe
it's like Dan's trying. It's like he's trying to tell you he's got a girlfriend in Canada.
Exactly. Yeah. What did I hear?
Just show the pictures.
Yeah, exactly. We could have posted that, but we got a few questions before we let you go about the NFL season, and then we have a hobby-related one too, so that would be pretty exciting. Which hobby bust is most likely to have a breakout this season?
Which hobby bust in the NFL is most likely? That's a good question. That's a great question. Now let's see. I mean, I'm trying to think who we would consider like a hobby bust in the last year, the last couple of years. Does it matter?
5 years, 6 years? Yeah.
Okay. This is gonna sound crazy, and I'm just throwing it out there. Maybe this will get you guys some clicks or some comments, but Justin Fields, because I mean, who the hell is even left from that class? Of hobby wise, I mean, what that was
maybe Trevor, and that's it.
Yeah. It was Malik with him. I forgot. Was Malik Willis with him too?
No, that was 2022.
Yeah.
But
okay, so all right,
that class.
Yeah, so 2021. Obviously, Trevor. I mean, he's led Jacksonville to at least one playoff game, but Justin Fields has just been that guy who's just been shopped around. Almost feels like he hasn't necessarily been given that. Like he's right there. And then they take it all away from him with a guy like, Russell Wilson and whatnot. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do with the Jets. And I don't know, maybe breathe some sort of life into them.
Well, he's got Gary V behind him, I'm sure. So, I mean, that's always a motivational factor. And I'm not
V friends.
Yeah. And, I'll get all the V friends, get Justin Fields collabo on the next manga stickers. And, Justin Fields takes off. I'm with you on that one. I think he's got a lot of ability. I'm thinking like Bryce Young too. I know we're not completely written the story on Bryce Young, but he showed some flashes last year at the end of the season after being benched.
The Bryce Young pick.
So Bryce Young, and Justin Fields would have been right on the tip of my tongue too, because he's got such raw ability. So 2021 products need a little bit of boost. So
yeah,
for sure.
You know what? We were talking about it. I think it was on a hype episode, and we mentioned looking at that 21 class. Is Justin Fields the second guy? It's among the QBs, right? He's got to be.
He's got to be
number 2, which doesn't say a lot about that class, but also like, I'm totally with you, Troy. I think that Justin Fields is a guy that still, I still am waiting. I still think there's something in the tank there.
Yeah,
good. I mean, great offensive players on the Jets side. There's a lot of talent. They still have Breece Hall. They still have Garrett Wilson. There's still guys there. So I wouldn't be totally shocked. Yeah, I like the Bryce. I mentioned him earlier, but I don't know if he's a bust. But Kyler to me is still. I'm still like I think he can reach that next level. I really do, and I think that NFC West is a bit up for grabs this year. I wouldn't be, especially too the overall schedule for the NFC West. We're all playing the NFC South and the A's. There's a lot of weaker opponents, so I think there's an opportunity here to maybe show some people and surprise some people with Kyler.
I agree. And I have some Kyler cards that have never bounced back. So I am hoping that as well. Just losing to the Niners, but they can win every other game. That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
In the town. This is actually not in the hobby question segment, but I was just thinking about it on the drive here, and this might break some hearts and hurt some feelings. What's the worst uniform in the NFL? Which team has the worst jersey in the NFL? In your opinion, of course.
I mean, it's got to be the Browns, right? I feel like this is like a trick question. I don't know. Like, I feel like,
yeah,
I can't. That's
you look like a turd on the field.
See, I kind of like the simplicity of Cleveland. I will give them that.
Well, it's hard when you don't win to have the same colors year after year and jerseys and 28 different quarterbacks and. Yeah,
I'm okay with that, Cody. When you talk about like sometimes less is more, like sometimes less is more, simplicity. But brown is not the color I would choose for simplicity, I guess.
Now, I'm also not the guy to talk to because I loved when San Diego, the Padres went back to the Browns. I'm like, yes, that's unique. It's different. Now, brown with the yellow, it's also a different, it's kind of a tan as well. So maybe there's a little bit of wiggle room there. The one that popped in my head, just because I think they're never content, is the Jags. I've never really been a fan, but I know there's probably worse. If we're looking for a variation, the snot green Seahawks alternate is a rough one.
The highlighter green.
The highlighter green, the snot green. The Steelers bees is kind of a so bad it's good to me. It's ugly, but it is kind of fun to see them out there like once a year.
Or the Acme Packer one.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, the Packer one, awful.
Yeah.
Awful.
That one I don't really care for that much. But to me, the Beehive Steelers is kind of in the same realm as the Astros, the Tequila Sunrise of the 80s. Like these so tacky, so over the top that I kind of actually come around and like it in a way, in an ironic way.
Yep.
Mine's the Rams by far. I mean, especially with all the whole yellow, the team color yellow, and it's just like, there's just urine running around the field out there, and
you can get away with
blue and yellow just doesn't go well together. So, I mean, the Rams for me, terrible.
Blue and yellow go well together. It's
that felt personal. I'm not gonna lie. When it came through here, it felt a little personal.
I will say this to defend it is I think when they made the switch, when they moved to SoFi to sort of like the horns are kind of like detached a little bit. There's like a little, and the lettering is like all like textured and stuff. Like you guys had one of the best classic looks of any team in the NFL. You didn't need to reinvent the wheel.
And one thing that you guys will never unsee, if you look at the logo in the middle of the field, the nose on the Ram looks phallic.
Yes, it does.
So you'll never unsee it. I don't unsee it.
Nope. No, I can't.
Yeah. But anyways, Dan's not even here to defend himself.
Yeah, I was going to say that's why you're doing this.
I'm taking a drive at that one. So let's get back to some more hobby talks. Rumors are that we may not get any Topps football products for 2025 season. If that's the case, where do you think we will find Cam Ward, Jackson Dart autos?
I mean, I guess if you look back historically in the last handful of years, we'll call it, maybe they're thrown into Ginter. Maybe they're thrown into Dynasty. Maybe they're thrown into some of the flagship. I'm just thinking of like what they did with CJ Stroud and Wemby. I think that was okay that you're still getting autos of these guys, right? But it's not going to be in the most conventional way. And obviously it's not going to sell for as much as a true rookie card. But that's the nice part is they don't consider these true rookies or anything. They don't put any rookie shield on it or stamp or anything like that. It's just kind of a bonus Siki auto that you can kind of hunt when, they maybe need to pad a product a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what they're going to do. You're going to find them in Ginter. Maybe there's some sort of Topps Now, some kind of thing that's airbrushed out. I don't know if they're even allowed to do that. But I mean, I know they have new exclusive, so it is something to think about if you are interested in those guys going backwards and getting the college stuff, or if you think that Cam Ward is the real deal in Tennessee and he's going to be don't even know the next Vince Young or better, I guess, when it comes to Tennessee quarterbacks. They don't have a huge lineage unless you you figure in Warren Moon involved in that as well. But they're dying.
Aaron McNair.
Yeah, or Aaron McNair. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. That's the GOAT. That's the GOAT.
Aaron McNair.
Yeah. Number one, Aaron McNair, then Vince too, or you go, I don't know, Tannehill, Kerry Collins. I don't know who's two in that.
Yeah, I mean another team.
Clipboard Jesus.
The Rams ruined Steve McNair's legacy in that Super Bowl. Steve McNair could have, went off and been a legend, won that Super Bowl. The Rams ruined that too.
Well,
so that's another reason why.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Dan.
Yeah, one half yard away. What was that? Kevin Dyson.
Yeah. I'll throw out an idea here of like, if you really can't have a football product this year, and again, we don't have any full confirmation. There's some speculation about that of what's going on, but similar to the names on the tip of my tongue, like Upper Deck had a product years ago where it was just the best of the best. Here's all of the best athletes that we have
all-time greats.
All-time greats.
Yep.
Yeah.
Upper Deck all-time greats. Topps all-time greats. You can include Cam Ward, you can include Dart, and of course, then throw in LeBron, in Shohei, throw in the Barry Bonds autos again, throw in Barry, throw in, you've got a ton of, you got Carlos Alcaraz now for tennis. You got all of these huge names now.
You're giving me goosebumps thinking about this.
I think that's the way you make it a high-end product. Wemby as well. You throw all these guys in and you make it a huge, huge chase. And you go, by the way, those two guys, those top two QBs, first chance to get them is in this product right here.
Get Mayhem on the phone. We get him on the phone. That's what we need. Mayhem, 40, 50 Ruben, guys on the checklist, and then player breaks. Oh God, that was amazing.
Dude, I mean, think about a Jaden Daniels, Wemby, Shohei Ohtani triple auto.
Yeah. I mean, you could do Jaden and Caleb with Cam Ward, and I mean.
Imagine a triple that has a NFL shield, a logo man, and a silhouette.
Well, now we're
we can't talk too loud. We're on to something here. We can't. Right. We got to keep it down.
You know what? Yeah, you know what? We need to trademark this before we post this episode.
Just bleep this whole part out.
Yeah, you know what? Cut this. Cut it out.
All right. Before we let you go, this is kind of an interesting question. If you were the hobby commissioner, meaning the president of the hobby in the breaking aspect, and you were in charge of the hobby, what rules and regulations would you put in place to make breaks better than they are?
If you get product early and you break it before you're supposed to, I'm throwing you in jail.
Yeah.
Because that's like the Jacob Wilson Superfractor auto getting hit before any of us even touched it. So straight to jail. Also, I think it would be fun. Maybe like a fine system. Every time you pronounce a player's name wrong, you're getting hit with a fine. To be honest with you, I'm outing myself because there are some players that I just absolutely butcher. So I'm like, just give me a jar and I'll just start stuffing dollars in there.
I mean, you break hockey. So, I mean, that's the hardest of the hard right there. That's true. I mean, we used to have a guy when we were breaking hockey in 2013 that he would be phonetics in the room for us, and even then we wouldn't get it right sometimes. That's a tough one.
I got people in the chat just dropping phonetics. They're like, and I'm like, thank you so much. I'm like, I'm not even embarrassed. I'm like, please give me all the phonetics.
That's the thing. If you that's what I would do too. If there was a product where I'm like, hey, just to let you guys know, I just get ahead of it. Say, just correct me. I will not be offended. Please, I want to get these right as much as you guys want to hear them pronounced right.
Well, here's one, though. Nobody in their right mind would ever get Dustin Byfuglien right. Nobody, ever. There's no way that you could walk up on the street and ask 100 people that have never heard the name and they would say it right. There's no way. Because it looks like Byfuglien. I just want you to know, Doug, that the fact that you just pulled Dustin Byfuglien, you gained quite a bit of respect in my heart. But yeah, it looks like Bagoo. Yeah. So what is it? Well, I was going to say, what is it? What is it in wedding singer? Julia Bagulia or whatever? Yeah. Just like that. Like, how would you even get that out of there? There's a comedian, like, was it Brian Regan, who says like his name's Brian, but it's like BRGHYAAN or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like not even like
not
close.
the typical spelling. Just a little off.
But I like it. Back to the hobby commissioner thing. You said, put him in jail. I see that's going easy. I think I would maybe cut a digit off every time they broke release day. So, I mean, they got 10 times to do it. I don't know how hard it is to break with one finger, but, maybe on the 10th time, then you can't break anymore after the 10 times. So.
True.
Then we got people breaking with their feet, and we got a whole other problem there. Now you're opening up a whole other thing.
And then suddenly they're making more money than ever. It's like, actually, thank you.
Thank you for cutting off all my
We're done. Thanks for that.
Yeah. A couple more. Have Topps and Panini done enough to cater their products to breaking, or have they swung too much in the favor of breakers?
I mean, Topps, it's funny because, you can believe what you read. You know what I mean? There's just so many opinions out there. There's so many posts about, this and that, and he said, she said. He sells by the seashore. I can't even talk. But, it's funny because you'll see in Topps that there are things that are in retail now, which I would argue if before the pandemic and even probably early in the pandemic, if you were going to a Target, Walmart, whatever store near you and you're grabbing retail, that was tough. Now you're actually seeing like super fractors or these ridiculous short prints are in retail.
Yeah,
so
a blaster chrome. I hit a gold auto of a guy on the Phillies. I don't remember his name.
Wow,
right. The picture on the Phillies, but I got a gold rookie auto, true gold. And I was like, never, to your point, you'll never see that in 10 years ago. So
no, and the thing is I like the idea of breaker delight. I like the idea. I get it, especially on this side of things. When you can just get boom right to the point.
Yep.
I think with those, I've always said this is checklist. For me, I get it. You have to fill a product, right? You have to fill a product with different players, different things like that. But I think we could cut checklists in terms of autos. Yep. Obviously, you need to have your C tier guys, your B tier, your A tiers, and your S tiers. I get that. But I just think, I understand that you want to try to guarantee an auto in these boxes of different, whatever sport.
Sure. Yeah.
But do I need a 6th round safety or a guy that was in the combine? Or, do I need a guy that played up in the majors for a cup of coffee and then got sent back down and he's a AAA guy for life? So I think there could be some work there, just, tailoring the autograph checklist to be a little shorter and a little more concise and give a little more value in terms of that.
I agree. Like you look at products like Cosmic Chrome, especially on the baseball side of things. I mean, you're not getting an auto a box, but that stuff is, a huge product, hugely in demand with the planets, with different parallels. And then I feel like you do get a good auto. Like you're not getting
only the good stuff. Yeah, that's the thing. It's kind of in the realm of a Bowman's Best or a Finest, where it's like when you get an auto, it's going to be a good one out of that one.
So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, if you were a hobby commissioner from the day, for you guys that are listening, what would you change? I mean, also, I guess we can leave on this. How much regulation is needed right now in the breaking space? Do we need to make getting on platforms like Whatnot harder? You guys can take it.
Yeah, I think I've always thought that. Even back in the days when, Elena and I were doing the Chase podcast full time, it felt like a decent amount of times, and not to keep plugging the Chase there, but a decent amount of times we would come across stories that I felt like were, here's another Whatnot scam, or, here's some tomfoolery that was going on in a break. So, yeah, I get it that they want to just give everybody a platform and allow everybody to have an opportunity. But at the same time, I think, you got to crack down. I mean, I think it's a help me, help you situation. If you put on legitimate businesses on your platforms, people that, do right by their customers and, play by your rules that you set, not only are the people in business helping themselves, but they're making your platform way more reputable.
Sure.
And people trust your platform and actually want to go to your platform and use your platform. So, yeah, I mean, I've never been a fan of just, as much as I know that the hobby should include everybody, that's not a problem. Everybody should be included in the hobby, collect whatever, buy into break, whatever the hell you want to do. But when it comes to being a business, I think there has to be some established legitimacy there. And it can't just be a 14-year-old kid in his mom's basement who's probably not even supposed to be on Whatnot, and she comes knocking on the door and yells at him, and he's got to get off stream. Now, no knock to the 14-year-old's hustle, but I just think, we got to clean that up a little bit.
Absolutely. I think, you see companies out there like, obviously you guys, David Adams, huge company that, you feel safe going into that room. You're like, they're not going to risk any of, what they've got going on for this one superfractor. But, you see the guy in the basement and you're like, this is his second break. Maybe he might risk it, not send me my 10,000 superfractor. Right. So it's like, I think it breaks down the skin in the game, but I'm with you. You have to include these people. And I don't know what the answer is. Maybe listeners below can say like what the requirements should be. Should they have to have some kind of investment? Should they have to have a website? Should they have to have a certain amount of followers on socials? I don't know what the requirement is, but there should be something that kind of protects. And I think Whatnot has stepped in on some of these situations, but it's already too late when the guys ran off with the card, and you can't replace a one-of-one of Marvin Harrison or Jaden Daniels that's been now taken away from a collector. So
yeah.
But Troy, I know you got to get back to doing what you do over there. You do a great job on Fanatics Live and everything that you guys do over there. So we like to appreciate you from coming on the breakdown, and I'm sure we'll do this again soon.
Yeah, well, I always appreciate you guys. You guys have been nothing short of amazing to me since I got really deep into this space. So it always means so much when I get to hang out and talk with you two. So I appreciate you guys. And obviously I can learn a thing or two from the Mojo Break family.
All right, guys, that is it for the breakdown. Make sure you guys hit subscribe. We're doing this weekly. We talk about all the upcoming products and breaks on the breakdown. We'll see you next time.